Welcome to Skillcast, the podcast by the London Organisation of Skills Development, where skills are the forefront of all conversations. My name is Nurbanu, and I'll be the host for Season 1. Join me as I dig deep and be a little nosy and find out the story behind the skills our expert guests share with us.
I'm here today with Nkechi, so go ahead and introduce yourself.
My name is Nkechi Okorocha. I'm a wife, a mother, an accountant, an author of the book, Who Says You Can't Have It All? That's actually the name of the book. Who Says You Can't Have It All? I'm also a business consultant. I'm a recipient of Guinness Book of Records. Now, I'm also a mindset coach. So the list goes on.
Wow, I was just about to say, does this list ever stop? Yes, you can do it all. Now tell me, how are you juggling all of this stuff? You said you're a mother, you said you've got this book, you're doing so many things.
Yes.
How do you manage? What's your secret?
Yeah.
I want to know it all.
It's actually, having a sense of time management and also, distribution of life balance, would I say. As a mother, obviously, I work from home. So my children are grown, but even before they were grown, I was still quite busy. So it's like I said before, managing the time that the time to apportion to children, to husband, to work, that life balance. And I think that's where a lot of people, especially women, have it wrong. So if you sit down and prioritize, know what is more important to you, then you'll be able to now say to yourself, do you know what? I'm going to focus more on this. And everything will be balanced, in my own opinion, yes.
Do you have any top tips for anyone when you say time management? Because you mentioned people get it wrong all the time.
Yes. You would be surprised. In fact, one of the things that I teach, I'm happy you're asking that question, because one of the things that I teach or talk about is time management, because as you know, we have 24 hours in a day, and which is, if my maths is correct, 186 hours in a week. So if you have your 9 to 5, just go home and do this. Deduct 40 hours, because of your 9 to 5, and also deduct how many hours you sleep, every night, and then deduct miscellaneous hours, obviously some hours that could come up here and there that you might not even know, that you've not accounted, or you didn't even plan, you have not planned for those hours. So deduct all those hours. You'll be so surprised to see how many extra hours you have. You see, so you can go on and keep deducting all the hours until when you have hours that you can say to yourself, okay, I can actually do quite a lot, even if it's only 5 hours a day, I can do quite a lot within 5 hours a day. So if you do that, it's a very practical thing. So that's how, but you have to really be very intentional about time. Because a lot of people do things, they don't just think about it, they just do it. No, you've got to be very, very intentional and very focused on what you do. So, that will help you to actually balance your lifestyle and what you have to do as well. Yeah.
Okay, well, you make it sound so easy, time management. You kind of think about it. I do this all the time. I'm saying that I'm going to come home from work and I'm going to work on this passion project, and now I'm going to work on this work. Yeah. I'm going to do this assignment. But then and then procrastination comes into play. Honestly, and then the next minute, I'm like doom scrolling on Instagram, liking pictures, watching pointless reels. I'm obsessed with, I'm vegan and plant-based, so I love seeing recipes. Yeah. And it's like a little rabbit hole. Like you watch one reel to another reel to another. Before you know it, it's like midnight. Oh dear.
You are so correct. Actually happens to everybody. That's why, I said that people should be intentional, have in your head is like, okay, I'm going to spend about 2 hours on social media, because you will be denying yourself and you won't be truthful to yourself if you say, oh, I'm not going to go on social media. Trust me, you won't even be happy, because you're thinking, whatever you're doing, you're still thinking about social media. So you might as well just say to yourself, let me actually allocate 2 hours or whatever, how many hours or how many minutes that you want to do that. You just go in there, dip in and dip out. Can you see? And then you think about other things. For example, if you're a student, you say, okay, I have to study 3 hours a day or 5 hours. How many hours you want to do it? So if you departmentalize your time that way, you structure it that way, trust me, you will achieve quite a lot. People, when I do this with people, I've done this with medical doctors, accountants, teachers, students, and everybody keeps saying, oh my God, I didn't know I had all this time, or I have all this time. People just keep saying that whenever I do that, because it's like, because they have not been intentional. People just do things, just boom, let's do it, and get out, get away with it. No, but you've got to say to yourself, okay, this is what I have to do today. And one of the things that I tell people, how to manage their time again is for them to write 6 most important things to do the next day. Because if you don't journal, if you don't write things down, trust me, it will be very, very difficult for you to be very focused. So if you say to yourself, these are the things that I want to do the next day, and you put them, order of importance, okay, I want to make some calls. I'm going to work the next day. I'm going to come back at about 5, 6, whatever time. I'm taking the kids out to football or whatever. You put everything down. Honestly, if you do it for 1 month, you'll be so surprised and how much, what you're going to achieve. Trust me.
1 month journal, what did you say?
1 month, yes.
Journaling.
Yeah. Consistently, intentionally, do it for 1 month. Yes, consistently, yeah.
Okay. Is there a sense of mindset shifting here as well? Does someone needs to change their mindset when it comes to setting an intention?
Oh, absolutely. I say to people as well that, you see, everybody talks about the mind because it's the most important machine or substance, should I say, that you have in the human body. Everything starts from the mind, and you see, some people also would say, purpose. You have to know your purpose in life. But I'll say this. Yes, it's good to know your purpose. Yes, it's good to know why. But at the same time, if you don't have that self-identity, which is, again, from the mind, to know who you are, you won't be able to know your purpose. You won't be able to know why you're doing certain things. It works. I mean, if you look at the scale of importance, I believe that knowing who you are, that self-identity, is so important. And everything, again, comes from the mind, isn't it? So the mind is so powerful. So for you to, be able to write down, like plan your time or whatever it is that you want to do, you've got to be in that that mindset, that awareness, by saying to yourself, okay, now this is what I want to achieve. I have to my mind has to be set on it. It has to be very intentional. As you do that, just like the name goes, mindset, your mind will be set on achieving that particular goal or achieving those things that you want to achieve. Yes.
So with this whole time management thing,
yeah,
have you always been good in managing time? Because obviously you talk a lot about time management and you coach people on that.
Yeah.
Is that something in your life that you've always been good at, or were you struggling at some point and then you had this absolute realization about time management and that's why you're coaching it? I'm just interested to know.
That's a good question. If I was good at it, I wouldn't be teaching it. And I'll tell you why. Because like what you rightly said, I was not good at it at all.
I love the honesty.
Okay, I wasn't. So I had to learn the hard way, which is why I can confidently teach people on how to manage their time, because I used to be in that camp. So, and also bringing up children here as well will force you to really manage your time, because if you don't, nothing gets done. So I never used to be good at it. So I had to sit down to now, write down things to say, okay, tomorrow, this is what I'm going to do. And it helped me, especially when the children were very young. I have 3 children. My first child, she's a girl, Neka, and then Emeka and Keke. Now, Neka would go to Bali. I'll have to take Neka to Bali. Emeka and Keke will go to play football. I didn't have a choice but to be organized. That, because I wasn't, like I said before, but I had to sit down to plan it, to say, no, I have to know what time to take this person to this place, what time to bring them back, and when they have to have their dinner, when they have to do their homework, all sorts of things. So I was able to now correct what I didn't know before, which is why I'm sharing it with people, because I know that there'll be so many people that will be in that camp as well. So yeah, I wasn't good at it before. No, not at all.
Did you have a mentor to help you manage your time? Was it something you learned yourself?
I learned it myself, to be fair. And I tell you, it was quite funny when it happened, because my mother-in-law, I don't like calling her my mother-in-law, but she was my mother, and she's late now. So she was staying with us, and she saw the precision, how I was managing my home and time. She said to me, and this woman was a very bright woman when she was alive. She was, in education, so you can imagine the discipline as well. So she said to me, wow, I'd never seen anything like this, that you manage your home like a military base, precise. Everything is so precise, so that I thought to myself, because I didn't have a choice, like I said before, because I was not good at it. So I had to devise a plan to say, do you know what? I have to do it this way and that way, for me to have my sanity, and for the children to have their own sanity as well, and for everybody around to have their own sanity. Yeah.
Yeah, like they say, fail to prepare to fail. So
absolutely,
you can apply that to planning and being organized.
Yes.
So you mentioned you have 3 children, you said.
Yeah.
How old are they now?
Oh my God. I always say to people that when I tell my children's ages, then people could guess mine. I want to joke. I want to joke it.
Give an age.
No, I want to joke it. Okay. Oh, well, I would say Emeka, both of them are in their 30s now. Neka is going to be 33, Emeka 31, and KK 28, 29.
Okay. So what are they all, they're all grown adults now. Are they all working, or are they still in education?
Yeah, they are medical doctors actually.
All 3 of them?
All 3 of them, yes.
Oh, wow.
All 3 of them.
What about your other half?
He's a doctor as well.
Oh, wow, you all come from a medical family then.
Yes. I always joke, I tell people that I won't die early. When you have 4 doctors in the house.
They take you.
Protecting me. Yes. Yeah, 4 doctors, yes.
Oh, wow. So when people ask you and you tell them you're a doctor, do they ask you if you were a doctor? That question?
Trust me, almost everybody. No, they do ask. They ask me that question. Oh, are you also a doctor? I said no. I said no, I'm not, because somebody has to be sane in my house. We have to have somebody who is very normal. We have 4 abnormal people, doctors. So I'm the normal one. No, I'm not a doctor. I'm an accountant.
Do you ever feel like undermined at any point? Because obviously, do you feel like you have your own confidence, or do you get your confidence from your family who are medical professionals?
That's a fantastic question. Do you know what? I don't think people have asked me that question, and I think it's a very, very important question, because people think that my husband being a doctor and me having 3 children as medical doctors, that probably that's my fame. No, not at all. In fact, as a matter of fact, my children they were quite young when I had I'm not a millionaire, but when I became successful in business, so they used to accompany me to my meetings, and I believe that for my children is the other way around, because they saw what I used to do when they were young, how committed I was in my business. They saw that, so they used the same principles, to be where they are today. And like I said, I'm a Guinness Book recipient. Mm-hmm. So because of what I have achieved in my life, so it has, of course, they have done very well. And I think, so looking at it that way, I have been successful, yes, ever since I can remember, except when I was working 9 to 5, obviously. When I started my business, yes, I became very successful quickly, very, very quickly.
Wow, I love that. And I love how I challenged you on something.
Yes.
And you brought it back on me, and you're like, yes, no, I'm a successful woman, yes, on my own. And not just that, yeah, people look up to me. My, yes, children look at me. They praise me. And I think that's beautiful. And I think that confidence is, I think that's powerful. Is that something you've always had, or is that something that you've developed over time?
I developed it over time. Honestly, probably you will see some few people that will tell you that they were born confident. And for me, as a mother, let's start from there. When I had my children, obviously, it wasn't easy for me, the 3, but it was not easy, I can tell you that. And so that affected my confidence. But you see, I've always said that I'm my best teacher, and I will have to go through certain things, negative things, obstacles, hindrances, trials, personally. I don't know why. And from those trials and tests and what have you, they sort of like push me, drive me to even do better, to get to that top or get to that place where I have to say to myself, do you know what? If you don't do this for you, nobody will do it for you. So that's what has helped me to be confident, because see, I'm also a believer. I didn't start believing that initially, but now I've always been saying to myself, self-talk, affirmations, confessions. I've always been confessing that I am who God says that I am. I am somebody. I'm not a nobody. So knowing my self-identity, self-worth, that has also increased my confidence. And I also teach people on confidence. My children, my goodness, we were in Scotland for 10 years, and we were the only Black family in a city. So you can imagine what they must have gone through, what we must have gone through, but that's fine. But if I didn't teach them about that confidence, if I did not equip them for them to know that, see, you've got to know who you are. You've got to have that self-identity. Probably they wouldn't be where they are today. But if I didn't go through it myself to be able to adjust, they wouldn't be who they are today. I would be who I am today. So yes, it came from me.
So, Parth, tell me more about your mentoring and training that you do. Is that the type of coaching that you offer?
Yes.
Is it a package? So you mentioned time management, yes, and confidence. Is it together, or are these separate sort of trainings you do?
It's a package. Mm-hmm. I also have courses on family, because it's very easy. We know what's going on now with families. Mm-hmm. So I have courses on that. And also on finance, business. Like I said to you, I'm a business consultant, mm-hmm, as well. And faith, faith, different faiths, faith in what you do, faith in God, faith in whoever you believe in, faith in, so I sort of like have courses on that. But if you have to dissect the family one and the finance one, that's where you get the confidence. That's where you get self-belief. That's where you get, the time management. That's where you get self-talk, how we teach people how you can actually change your life. A lot of people want people to change them, but I teach you how you can change your life. So you are very cheap to buy you. You don't have to pay so much for somebody to change you. So it's part of what we have in our course.
So is your course more about finding self-confidence and removing the confidence you get from family and your career? Am I getting this right? Or
Yes. It's about finding who you are first.
Hi.
And I think that's the number one thing for everybody to do. Find out who you are, your self-identity.
And then your career and your family, is that secondary, or is that?
That's secondary, in my own opinion. Yes, that's secondary, because that was what I did. I had to find out who I was, and that helped me, to get to the next level, which is like knowing what to do, knowing my purpose, knowing the fact that, oh, wait a minute, I can pass this on. I can share this with the world. I could remember my son, the last child. I think it was about 5 years ago. We were sitting down and I was talking to him about confidence, because I speak to my children all the time about all this. And then he looked at me. He said, "Mom, can I tell you something?" I said, "Go on." He said, "The whole world will need to hear your voice." That did it for me.
That's beautiful.
That came from nowhere. This was about 5-6 years ago. I said, "Okay, thank you." Because he felt that whatever I was saying to him was sinking in. And he also felt that other people should hear this. They should know about it. And that really spoke to me a long time ago.
That gave me goosebumps as well.
Oh,
that wake-up call that you had, and the fact that your family is so supportive.
Oh,
I think that's so powerful as well.
Yes, my husband is an incredible person. He's so supportive, and he knows. He says at times, "So thank you so much for the way that you brought up these children." And I'm saying to him too, thank you too, because it's not only me. It takes two to tango. He is an incredible father. I can't even begin to tell you. In fact, I'm sure he won't want to hear this, because he doesn't like to be out there. But I think I want to use this medium to say that I'm very blessed to have him as my husband, as the father of my children.
Wow, they say, like you say, who says you can't have it all?
Yeah, what a title for a book. And by the way, let me also say that I have another book coming up, and that one is called "You Are Unstoppable." Yes, you are. You are unstoppable. I am unstoppable. So I want you to believe that. Honestly, I'm not trying to placate you here. I'm actually telling you the truth about you, because that's how God created us. We are unstoppable. So watch out. Go to my website, NkechiOkorocha.com. Again, my Instagram handle, Nkechi_Okorocha. My YouTube channel is called Nky, Nky Inspires channel. And my Facebook is Nkechi Okorocha with my children's picture. That's the profile picture.
Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.